a very great question. Why do authorities want to forbid the study of the Cairo Sphinx dungeons for 100 years? Graham Hancock has his own version of this. Egyptian authorities preparing a law prohibiting exploration of the premises under the Sphinx for the next 100 years. Let's remember, in the Emerald Tablets, and I have a playlist for you, you should listen to that as you're driving or doing some work or even exercising. It has a lot of information in there. He says he's to be credited with the Giza Plateau Sphinx and Pyramid Complex, and he says that he has a spaceship buried under a Sphinx in the Giza Plateau. His spaceship. So, all the hopes of researchers who want to finally put an end to this matter may be dashed. We all understand that the Sphinx is the property of the Egyptian authorities, of course, but when it comes to the discovery of a universal scale, shouldn't the state provide more allowances to the study of this marvelous area and its mysteries? Edgar Cayce once claimed that under the Sphinx there is a labyrinth of thousands of steps, the same as from Plato and ancient Greeks, saying that there's an underground city, a luxurious city under the Giza Plateau. But Edgar Cayce says whoever passes it will find himself in the Hall of Truth, where the first gods of Egypt and the most valuable library rest. It contains the knowledge accumulated by the previous dozens of civilizations. Having reached them, humanity will rise to a new level of development. There will be no need for weapons and medicines. New laws and new opportunities will be opened. This is an inevitable step on the road to space travel, Edgar Cayce said. One can refer to this or that medium or psychic in any way, but Edgar is far from the only one who claimed that an older underground structure is located under the Sphinx. There is an opinion that the sculpture was created on purpose to permanently preserve the passage to the Atlantean library or the relics of the ancient gods who were extraterrestrial. Now, ancient studies have scanned the soil beneath the Sphinx. Connecting corridors were found there, and several sources report that the exact scheme was never completed. As the Egyptian military hastily curtailed the study of these dungeons, why were the Egyptian authorities so afraid? Israeli historian Orly Goldwasser believes that there is nothing wrong with the study of ancient objects. In her opinion, the law on the conservation of the dungeons of the Sphinx still will not be adopted. But British researcher Graham Hancock said that there are two good reasons why researchers are not allowed to study the Sphinx. First, the pyramid and the Sphinx were never built by the Egyptians. These are the structures of a previous civilization, according to Graham Hancock, and if this is true and comes to light, then history will have to be rewritten. And the second, Edgar Cayce and many others were right. In the depths of the desert are underground cities, libraries, temples, perhaps even the mechanisms of an ancient civilization. Graham Hancock has repeatedly personally visited the sites of Egypt. He was always drawn to the study of ancient mysteries, and according to his theory, Egypt was formed relatively recently, and the entire modern history of Egyptology is a complete fiction, he says. The Egyptians applied hieroglyphs to sculptures in the 2nd and 3rd millennium BC, while the Sphinx and the pyramids are more than 17,000 years old. This is easily calculated in a computer program. Many buildings in Egypt were built in accordance with the location of the heavenly bodies, the stars above, the celestial bodies, that is. Now, from them, you can understand which star map the ancient masters used and calculate the year of creation. In addition, traces of water erosion were found on the buildings, and such powerful rains last fell in Egypt more than 13,000 years ago. Climatologists, by the way, confirmed that in those days there were meadows and forests in the land, and the climate was not at all arid as it is today. And based on this, we conclude that in those days, the Sphinx and the pyramids were already standing. Egypt did not exist then, so why not believe Graham Hancock and Edgar Cayce? And this is from Solask. Please leave your comments about this, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.